Naysimone is the upbeat radio personality on X102.3's Love Zone. Originally from Queens, New York, Naysimone talks about her upbringing, zeal for life, and love advice.
Naysimone is just everything. You know, I'm the artist, I'm the radio personality, I'm the mother. Oh my gosh, I'm the creator, I'm the creative ideas. I'm just everything right now. Everything good though, everything good. Okay, so I was born and raised in New York in Far Rockaway, Queens. Okay, grew up in the hard hood streets of Edgemere. Okay, y'all can look that up because Edgemere is like one of the baddest projects in Queens. Been living there all the way up into about 2013. I came from very strict parents. My father was in the military, so you know I was kind of treated like a military brat, even though I wasn't traveling. But you know, it was the point of how he raised us with, you know, discipline. Parents is very disciplined. It was strict. But you know, my father was always the jokester. My mother was always the jokester. We had good times. My father was very big into music, and he used to play music all the time, so I kind of fell into music. I used to love writing, started writing poems. And my brother, he was the comedian, but he also danced and he also did music himself. So I kind of like followed his footsteps, and I used to write poems all the time until one day my brother was like, "You know that's a rap you just wrote." I'm like, "No, I didn't." He popped in a tape at the time, because we had the little cassette tapes. You know, you put the tape over the holes of the cassette tape so you can record over them. So he'll pop in the tape and he'll play instrumental, and he'll take my poem and start rapping my poem. So at that point, I became a rapper. So I was like, I'm a rapper. So I started writing raps, and I've been a rapper since the age of 13. I had a group called the Crazy Ones because we was all crazy. We was like the TLC of the TLC. Pretty much. We all had crazy personalities. We had a manager who always took us to like different events, shows. We met so many celebrities. We opened up for like artists like the Fugees. That was like one of my biggest thing. That was the first time I got starstruck. I was like, oh my God, Lauryn Hill. And after that, you couldn't tell me nothing. I wanted to be a rapper. Everybody said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a rapper. Okay. So yeah, I was doing music for a long time. I was signed to a label called Vibe Records. I was signed with them for about 4 years. I did a lot of stuff with them, but it was very hard. Music business, you have to have thick skin. I do have thick skin to the point where I wanted to remain myself. You know, a lot of music record labels, they want you to be somebody, portray this image, and because I'm a mother first, you know, rapper second, I had to pick and choose what I wanted to do, and I became that difficult artist that didn't want to follow rules and directions because they wanted to make me into a slur, and that's not what I wanted to portray myself. So I kind of fell behind the scenes, but I still, to this day, I still dibble and dabble in the music, you know. Now I decided to get out of the concrete jungle of New York, you know, and slow it down a little bit. So that's what made me come to West Palm Beach. And of course, I hated the cold. I had to get away from the cold. So I'm like, I'm moving to Florida. Well, the funny thing is, I always was told that I had personality. They was like, this girl crazy. She's full of life. You know, I was always, I guess you want to call it the entertainer. You gave me a mic and I was just like, oh, I got this. I got this, you know. So I actually started, you know, hosting a lot of events. When I was in New York, I worked with a videographer who shoot music videos for a lot of the artists. So I was doing all the behind the scenes. I started interviewing the rappers behind the scenes. So I was like, hey, you know, I like to do this, you know. So that became my niche for a while. And, you know, I just always wanted to have an outlet where I can just be very boisterous. As you can see, I'm a boisterous type of person. I like to be boisterous and just, you know, let my personality just run through, whether it was TV, whether it was radio, you know, whether it's just in a room with two people. You know, I just like to Actually, when I was in New York, I worked for a company called United Stations, and they used to contract me to do different things for different radio stations. I did voiceovers, I did jingles, you know, sometimes I came in and did work, you know, I started off with Ed Lover. He had the Ed Lover show in New York, and I did some work with him, and then the Breakfast Club took over, and I also did some work with them as well, and now they like syndicating all over the place. So, you know, just being in that atmosphere, I was like, wow, I would love to do radio, you know. So I came to Florida thinking I can pick up what I was doing in New York, but New York and Florida is two different states, and they do things totally different. So I ended up going to Connecticut School of Broadcasting so I can be certified, and from that point in, I started working doing sales at the time it was Palm Beach. I think it was Palm Beach Broadcasting, turned digitally. Now it's Alpha Media. So I started off doing sales, but my passion was to do radio. So you know, I had an opportunity by Leo Baldwin, who was the operational manager there. He saw my personality and he was like, hey, you don't want to do sales, you need to be on radio. I was like, oh. So I was excited, I was happy. So that's how I was able to get into radio. My personality just took over, and now I'm doing radio. Okay, so right now I work for X102.3. I'm on from 7 to midnight, Sunday through Thursday. Basically, I do the Love Zone, you know, so that was something they already had there. You know, that was not something I brought to the station, but the station said, hey, listen, we have this segment called the Love Zone, and this is where we would like to put you. And I was like, hey, love, I'm such a loving person, you know, I'm big into romance and relationships and things like that. So I was like, hey, I can take my big mouth on the radio and talk about, you know, relationships and give pointers about, you know, the do's and the don'ts in relationships. So I was like, hey, I can kind of use this as a platform to speak to my young ladies, you know, even to speak to the guys who listen in. I try not to be, you know, it's basically, the show is tended for females, but you know, I know there's a lot of males that listen to the station, so I kind of play both sides. You know, I don't never just point fingers at the men all day. You know, I point fingers at the women too. So, you know, I just use that platform and try to put some positivity out there when it comes to love and relationships and things like that. Some of the guys haven't been too happy. You know, because I'm a voice on the radio, a lot of people don't know what I look like. So if I go somewhere, like one time I was in, I think it was like Radio Shack, I was getting a new set of headphones. So I was trying to pick the perfect ones to use while I'm at work. So I'm talking to the guy and he was like, well, what are you using the headphones for? Maybe I can help you. I said, oh, I work at the radio station. So he was like, wait a minute. You work at X102.3? And I was just like, yeah. He was like, I knew that voice sounded familiar. He was like, I don't like you. I was like, why? What happened? He was like, because you said this one time, you was talking about stop playing house. And my girlfriend jumped up and she was like, see, I told you. She even said stop playing house and put a ring on it. If you're gonna be, you want to be in a committed relationship, you got to make it official. And now you got me out here, I have to go buy this girl a ring and all this stuff. I say, hey, listen, why are you getting mad at me for? You got to stop playing house. A lot of guys want the benefits without the commitment. And, you know, I just feel like, ladies, we got to stop doing that. You know, if you want it all, you got to make sure he's going to give it to you. And that's just what it is. Stop playing house. We're not little anymore. We ain't gonna play house anymore now. Oh, what's funny, because people ask me that all the time. You know what I do? Okay, so I work in the daytime. I work at Palm Beach Gardens Medical Center. And I come across a lot of patients. And you know, majority of the time, when you're in the hospital, you see a lot of family. You see a lot of married couple. And sometimes I see a lot of older folks. And I'm like, wow. And they laughing and they talking. I'm like, how long you guys been together for? They be like, oh, we've been together for 40 years. I be like, how did you make that work? You know, so I asked people who've been together for a long time. And they said, listen, it's not easy. But same thing, if you're willing to make it work, if you know you have the right person you want to wake up to every day, and you cannot see yourself being without them, then you make it work. So 40 years, it was like, yeah, it was hard, but you know what? We made it work, and I wouldn't trade her for the world. And I was like, oh. So, you know, I get advice from married couples who can really shed some light on relationship, not people who's in and out of relationships every other year, every other 2 years. Sometimes I go on the website and I even, you know, do some research about relationships. So, you know, that's basically where I don't go ask my single friends. When I have my issues or problems, I don't go talk to my girlfriends, and I don't go talk to bitter people, because all they do is they setting that poison inside your relationship. They want to see it fail. I want somebody that's going to help me make it work. So I don't ask my friends. I don't even tell them what's going on. That's what you just have to do. Honestly, branding is one of the biggest things when you trying to, you know, I guess be a brand, pretty much. You know, I will get 300 shirts that says Naysimone on it, 300 different colors. So people are like, well, what is Naysimone? What is Naysimone? Like, what is it? You know, so you can pretty much let everybody know, like, what you stand for. I'm not gonna say that, you know, honestly, like, my issue is I like to do everything. I like to help everyone. And my brand is basically just who I am. It's just me. I can't be anybody else. I'm not going to be Dior, Couture, or, you know, China, or well, whatever you want to call yourself. You know, I was born as Naysimone, and that's the only way I can be, you know. And a lot of people get caught up in other people's brands, that they don't learn how to be themselves. So me, I just do what I do best. And even if that's one day I'm helping somebody, whether it's feeding the homeless, which yes, I do feed the homeless. People say I'm crazy for doing that. I don't know why. But if someone's standing outside asking for something to eat, I will go to the store. What you want? Some McDonald's right here. I'm gonna go get you some food and I'm gonna feed you. You know what I'm saying? I won't give you no money, but I'll feed you. You know, but you know, or if it's trying to give some love advice. And me personally, I really try not to be in people's business and their relationships. So if people come to me and ask me, hey, what would you do? Listen, I can't tell you what you should do. I can just give you my opinion. I like to see people happy. I just like peace, fun and peace. I'm just a big ball of fun, and I'm just a bit of everything balled up into one big personality. So that's basically my brand, who I am. I'm just fun. I'm fun and I'm real. Because what you see is what you get. That's it. I think entertainment now, because the way how internet is, you have so many ways to keep yourself relevant. I would just say, just keep yourself active. Be on every social media, you know, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Keep yourself active. Let people know who you are, and why should people follow you? You know, just be yourself. Don't let anyone tell you, oh, don't do this, do that. If you feel in your heart what you're doing is right, continue to do what you're doing. Because that person that's going to sit there and tell you to be somebody else, what it does, it hinders you. Because now you have to play a role. Unless you want to be an actress, that's totally different. But if you're trying to play a real life role in your life, then you just need to be who you are and stay who you are. And just stick to your guns. Because if that was the case, I could have been a Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? I could have went and got the booty implant and the big old breast and been a rapper. And I could have, you know, that could have been me. But did I want that? No, I didn't want that. I wanted to talk about partying and having fun with my friends, and, you know, how it was rough in these streets and how we got to stop the violence and all. Nobody wanted to hear that. No, they wanted to hear sex. They wanted to hear all that. I don't know. my sex life stays in my bedroom. I'm not going to be rapping about it. That's nobody's business. Then that's the problem. You know, everybody wants you to put your business up in the forefront. And it's okay what you want to tell, but it's up to you what you want to sit there and display. Don't let anybody tell you what you need to talk about or what you need to be. Just be yourself. Hopefully married. No, I'm just playing. Hopefully my love tips will work. No, but 5 years, I honestly want to say that I would love, I don't care if it could be a 1 year, 2 year, whether it's in 5 years, I want to at least be on somebody's television. I want somebody to turn on the TV and be like, hey, I don't care if it's a sitcom. I don't care if it's a talk show. I just want to have that platform to let everybody know, hey, you could be yourself, period. You know, that's it. That's the platform. And I want to be able to have other young girls say, hey, Nay did it. She didn't have to shake her butt. She didn't have to do this. She was just herself. I want to do, listen, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. I want you to take what I'm giving you and take everything, absorb everything and be better. Be great at what you do. All right? So I want everybody to be better than me. I don't want somebody to say, oh, I don't want her to be better than me. Listen, if you could be better than me, be better than me. All right? If you 15, 16 years old, you want to be better than me. Because at 16, I wish I knew half of the stuff that I knew now. Okay? And I probably could have learned that at 16, 17 years old in the music business. But like I said, I was just so busy about grabbing the microphone and jumping on everybody's stage, not knowing that people was getting paid. And I'm sitting up here like, I didn't care about the money. It was just like, I just wanted to grab the microphone and just do what I do best. But you know, people was just making money off of you. And then when you sit back and you need that money to survive and live, and you, wait a minute, you was making money off of me all this time? Wait, hold up, where's my cut? And then when you don't understand it, it's politics to everything, documents, contracts. I didn't know nothing. I was just jumping in. Show, performance, yeah. So, you know, I learned the hard way. But learn from this, absorb everything, and be great at what you do.
Tune into Naysimone on X102.3 Sunday through Thursday from 7 p.m. to 12 midnight. For booking, email naysimone.cruz@gmail.com.